too low. Well, maybe it'll be better for me to put it down on the ground. Maybe I actually don't know. Well, this is fine. It's perfect, actually. I thought that I was going to need a whole thing, a whole situation. But I don't. Hello. Welcome to Sunset Pages. Now that you can see me tripping, almost lost my behind. Welcome to my channel, honey. Ah, it's been a minute. It's been so long. Because honestly, let me just be honest and tell the truth. I have not felt like writing reviews. I've been having so much fun reading the books, and listening to them. And I read a couple of them from the library, and that has been fun and entertaining. But to actually, like, afterwards, I've had all the thoughts and the feelings within myself, but I have not felt like sitting down and actually congealing those thoughts into written form. But I got around to it, and so here I am, because I was like, oh my goodness, I can't let too much time go by without me talking to my friends. So I said, well, it's nice outside, let me get the hammock together. And I was worried about how I was gonna do it, but this actually works out fine. My knees look hilarious, but this is actually okay to sit and talk about the books. Maybe I won't go completely away from you. That's a little too much, but okay. So over the whole month, last month, I read like 10 books, but we don't have to talk about all of those. We'll only talk about maybe 6 or 7 of them, because they were really good. I got some a little bit of fantasy in there, of course, and some thrillers, urban fiction. So let's get started. First, we're gonna talk about, oh my goodness, Gone Girl. I finally got around to reading Gone Girl, and I watched the movie after all this long time, after all these years. It was good though. Okay, I kind of understood the hype. It was good. Of course, I like the book much better than the movie. I've got I've got water in this, but it's one of those Hawaiian punch flavored waters. It's called berry dust. It's like a purple grapey kind of situation. It's real good. But anyway, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I gave 4 stars, and the blurb is, who are you? What have we done to each other? These are the questions Nick Dunn finds himself asking on the morning of his 5th wedding anniversary, when his wife, Amy, suddenly disappears. The police suspect Nick. Amy's friends reveal that she was afraid of him and she kept secrets from him. He swears it isn't true. A police examination of his computer shows strange searches. He says they weren't made by him. And then there are the persistent calls on his mobile phone. So what did happen to Nick's beautiful wife? This was good. What an absolute simp. Nick Dunn was the worst. Amy was pretty unlikable in the ways that an antagonist is supposed to be, but that ending shines a light on Nick that was just unforgivable in my eyes. As the synopsis states, on the day of their 5-year wedding anniversary, Amy goes missing from she and Nick's home. He comes home and things in the house are askew and there's no Amy. So Nick calls the police and they begin their missing persons investigation. The more they investigate, the more it looks like Amy is not just missing but dead, and Nick is the reason for it. First half of the book, Nick is running around trying to prove his innocence. It comes out that he is having an affair. Nick also has a really cool twin sister named Go. I like her because she never liked Amy, but also because she checks Nick and keeps him in line as best she can. And when she finds out that in the midst of this murder investigation that he's been having an affair this whole time, she gets in his shit. Tells him how disappointed she is in him and how stupid he is for it. She is a really good character and a good sister to Nick. But then halfway through, we get a twist. And okay, spoiler alert. And by the way, spoiler on all the books from this video. Amy is not dead at all. She just wanted to frame Nick for her murder because he cheated on her. So while she's laying low, she decides to call on an old flame, Desi. He has kind of like always loved her. But when she sees Nick on the news pleading for her safe return, she realizes that he really does love her. Nick really does love her. And so now she wants to be back with him. So she ends up killing Desi to make it look like he had been holding her hostage all this time, and she had to kill him in order to escape with her life, just so that she could have some sort of feasible excuse for her murder and resurrection. She returns to Nick in the middle of this like media frenzy of him looking like the murderous husband. She gets settled back into the house with Nick. And she ends up telling him that not only did she kill Desi, but that she did it for them. And then Nick concludes some stupid toxic shit. Like that Amy's toxicity is the reason for his life and he loves her oh so much. So she is what he needs in his life. A child, King Sim. Shrimp. Because what do you mean? He's just going to forgive her and move on with his marriage and life like she didn't try to frame him for her murder and confess to him that she killed a man behind him cheating. Which, okay, my question for that is, if Amy had never seen Nick calling for her safe return on the news, what was her end goal? Like to just start over and live life on the fringes of society and, or in a house all the time? Because technically she was dead. I wonder what her long-term plan was. Unless I missed something. Did he really not forgive her or something? Is Nick only being with her so that he can exact his revenge? Because that's the only feasible explanation that I can come up with for him taking her back. Because that was just craziness. It was a fun book. I said I read the book and then watched the movie. Of course, I like the book better because for me, what the movie missed was like all the inner thought processes and inner workings and reasonings for the characters doing what they were doing. In the movie, they're just on the screen and all of that inside stuff is kind of missed. And that kind of made the movie a wee bit boring for me. But the book wasn't boring. The book was good, except for Nick's simp-ass ending. So it was good. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Okay. Next, I have Final Girls by Riley Sager. I gave it 4 stars. Oh, so these books, Gone Girl and Final Girls, were both books from off of my bookshelf in the house there. I'm crunching through that. Goodness, thank goodness. I said that I wanted to go ahead on and really get into that this year, and I'm proud of myself because I really have. So, Gone Girl by Riley Sager. Book description is 10 years ago, college student Quincy Carpenter went on vacation with 5 friends and came back alone, the only survivor of a horror movie, Scale Massacre. In an instant, she became a member of a club no one wants to belong to, a group of similar survivors known in the press as the Final Girls. Lisa, who lost 9 sorority sisters to a college dropout's knife, Sam, who went up against the Sack Man during her shift at the Nightlight Inn, and now Quincy, who began bleeding through the woods to escape Pine Cottage, who no, who ran bleeding through the woods to escape Pine Cottage, and the man she refers to only as him. The three girls are all attempting to put their nightmares behind them, and with that, one another. Despite the media's attempts, they never meet. Now, Quincy is doing well, maybe even great, thanks to her Xanax prescription. She has a caring, almost fiance, Jeff, a popular baking blog, a beautiful apartment, and a therapeutic presence in Coop, the police officer who saved her life all those years ago. Her memory won't even allow her to recall the events of that night. The past is in the past. That is, until Lisa, the first final girl, is found dead in her bathtub, wrist slit, and Sam, the second, appears in Quincy's doorstep, blowing through Quincy's life like a whirlwind. Sam seems intent on making Quincy relive the past, with increasingly dire consequences, all of which make Quincy question why Sam is really seeking her out. And when new details about Lisa's death come to light, Quincy's life becomes a race against time as she tries to unravel Sam's truths from her lies, evade the police and hungry reporters, and most crucially, remember what really happened at Pine Cottage before what was started 10 years ago is finished. So, like I said, I gave 4 stars, and I had suspicions of who the culprit was for the whole book. I couldn't understand why Quincy couldn't see it. I think I just don't care for the whole, memory loss thrillers, and then having, bits and pieces of the events coming back slowly. It pisses me off. Now, however, for that matter, it was good. Quincy did let that daggone Sam talk her into all manner of foolishness. If Can't Think for Yourself was a book character, it would definitely be Quincy. It was good. 4 stars. So the next book that I have by him that I'm going to read, and I think it's going to be my last Riley Sager for a while, because my favorite book by him was In the Middle of the Night, I think it was called. I really enjoyed that. That was good. But the next one that I have that I'm going to read by him is The Last Time I Lied, I think that's what it's called. I'm looking forward to that. But I'm going to read that in a while. All right. Cackle is next. This is cute. So Cackle is by Rachel Harrison. I gave it 5 stars. And the book description is a darkly funny, frightening novel about a young woman learning how to take what she wants from a witch who may be too good to be true, from the author of The Return. All her life, Annie has played it nice and safe. After being unceremoniously dumped by her longtime boyfriend, Annie seeks a fresh start. She accepts a teaching position and moves her from Manhattan to a small village upstate. She's stunned by how perfect and picturesque the town is. The people are all friendly and warm. Her new apartment is dreamy too, minus the oddly persistent spider infestation. Then Annie meets Sophie, beautiful, charming, magnetic Sophie, who takes a special interest in Annie, who wants to be her friend. More importantly, she wants Annie to stop apologizing and start living for herself. That's how Sophie lives. Annie can't help but gravitate towards the self-possessed Sophie, wanting to spend more and more time with her, despite the fact that the rest of the town folk seem a little afraid of her. And, okay, there are some things. Sophie's appearance is uncanny and ageless. Her mansion in the middle of the woods feels a little unearthly, and she does seem weird. Oh, and she does seem to wield a certain power, but she couldn't be, could she? This was cute. I enjoyed this book. I said, honey, she would have lost me at Spider. Okay, this was cute. It's about a friendship between a girl, Annie, and the local like town witch, Sophie. Their friendship is really cute and all, but Sophie has a pet spider, and I think his name is Rufus. Absolutely not. As we couldn't be friends. I hate arachnids. Anything with too many legs, or she just had to just come to my house in order for us to hang out. Yes, because no, I tried to think of Rufus as cute every time, but then they would like describe him as like having a whole bunch of eyes and stuff, and I can't, I can't think that he's cute. Absolutely not. But it was good. So now I am listening to her other book. What is it called? Teeth So Sharp, or Such Sharp Teeth, by Rachel Harrison, which is also really, really cute, really good, about this lady who got bit by a beast that she is pretty sure is a damn werewolf, and so she's having some symptoms. And she's worried about the next full moon. So we'll see where that goes. It's really cute. I like Rachel Harrison. I didn't end up liking the other book by her. I think it's called Play Nice. I ended up DNFing that. That one I didn't particularly care for. But um Such Sharp Teeth and this one, Cackle, those were really good. I'm also gonna try after this I'm gonna give, what is it called? They Thirst, is that what it's called? Or So Thirsty, something like that, by her. I'll see. That seems like it's cute. I like the themes that she has throughout her books. Like they're usually really focused on friendship, female friendships, and being strong, and not so about a man all the time. And they've also got the fantasy elements, which is really cute. I enjoy them. But that spider lady, absolutely not. We couldn't be friends. That's funny. It was cute though. Okay. Ooh. Next I have The Escape Room by Megan Golding. Mm-hmm. I give it 5 stars. It was actually so good. So, the description is: in the lucrative world of finance, Vincent, Jules, Sylvie, and Sam are at the top of their game. They've mastered the art of the deal and celebrate their success in style. But a life of extreme luxury always comes at a cost. Invited to participate in an escape room challenge as a team building exercise, the ferociously competitive co-workers crowd into the elevator of a high-rise building, eager to prove themselves. But when the lights go off and the doors stay shut, it quickly becomes clear that this is no ordinary competition. They're caught in a dangerous game of survival. Trapped in the dark, the colleagues must put aside their bitter rivalries and work together to solve cryptic clues to break free. But as the game begins to reveal the team's darkest secrets, they realize there's a price to be paid for the terrible deeds they committed in their ruthless climb up the corporate ladder. As tempers spray and the clues turn deadly, they must solve one final chilling puzzle. Which one of them will kill in order to survive? Oh my goodness, it was so good. Mm. So like I said, 5 stars, beautiful. I said, oh my goodness, excellent. I enjoyed this book so much. I finished it in like 3 big chunks. The plot was interesting, set in an elevator, which I thought would have gotten boring after a while, but it was not. Not when everybody in it, which is a piece of shit. Very compelling read all the way through for me. This book made it very easy to see investment bankers and people who like work on Wall Street as buttholes. I feel like in order to do that kind of work, not only do you have to be very intelligent, but you also have to be kind of cutthroat and a shiesty piece of crap on some level too. I ain't trying to hear it. I love a good long planned out revenge. The office drama was juicy. The elevator drama was juicy. And the ending of this was so satisfying. Everybody got what they deserved. And everything from the past Sarah Hall timeline, because the book is divided up into like two timelines. It's a past Sarah Hall timeline and the current elevator escape room timeline, and it wraps up so nicely by the end. Give this a try. 5 stars. It was a really good office thriller, had me on the edge of my seat type of book. I loved it. So next, Night Watching by Tracy Sierra. I give it 5 stars. A lot of good 5-star reviews because, well, like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and read anything that's boring. So if it's not, don't get the cracking real quick. I puts it down, and I don't even read it, so it won't even be on here. So all of my books are just really, really good. I don't waste my time on talking about them if they're not, smacking. All right, so this description is home alone with her young children during a blizzard. A mother tucks her son back into bed in the middle of the night. She hears a noise. Old houses are always making some kind of noise, but this sound is disturbingly familiar. It's the tread of footsteps, unusually heavy and slow, coming up the stairs. She sees the figure of a man appear down the hallway, shrouded in the shadows. Terrified, she quietly wakes her children and hustles them into the oldest part of the house, a tiny secret room concealed behind a wall. There, they hide as the man searches for them, trying to tempt the children out with promises and scare the mother into surrender. In the suffocating darkness, the mother struggles to remain calm, to plan. Should she search for a weapon or attempt escape? But then she catches another glimpse of him, that face, that voice, and at once she knows her situation is even more dire than she feared, because she knows exactly who he is and what he wants. This was so good. I enjoyed this, and it opens straight up to the action, honey. I said 5 stars. I really enjoyed this listen. So good and scary in a real world way. There are no ghosts, hauntings, or supernatural elements, but there is a real life monster, and his ass is terrifying. This book really makes you ask yourself, if you're a parent, how far you are really willing to go to protect your children. What I really liked about it, however, was how well this lady knew her house. She had like the neighborhood spooky house. It was like an old slave master's mansion, and it had like hidden back staircases and hidden rooms and stuff that was like slave quarters and whatnot. So it had a bit of a haunted looking history to it. But she had bought it in the now, and she loved her gothic little spooky house, little spooky mansion. And I was on her side about it. There's nothing like loving your space, spooky or not. But with that being said, she also knew every little creak and crack and floorboard intricacy, all of the ins and the outs of her house, which I thought was really cool and really fun to read. I said it was helpful to her when this man comes into her house trying to get her and her kids to come out, because she's able to use her knowledge of how her house is built and how it sounds and everything in order to accurately track where this man is. So it was good and it was riveting. Like I said, it opened straight up to action, and he was already in her house when the book started. Excellent. 5 stars. It was so good. Give it a try if you know what's good for you, baby. I'm telling you the truth. Oh, okay, so we have just 2 more. I think that's it. Nah, maybe 2 or 3 more. I'll see how I feel about talking about the high. So the next one I have is Next of Kin by Kia Abdullah. I gave it 5 stars. And the description is Layla Saeed receives a call that cleaves her life in 2. Her brother-in-law's voice is filled with panic. He's at her son's nursery to pick up Max, but he isn't there. Oh, wait a minute. I missed a sentence. Hold on. Back up. Book description. It says, On an ordinary day, Layla Saeed receives a call that cleaves her life in two. Her brother-in-law's voice is filled with panic. He's at his son's nursery to pick up Max, but he isn't there. Your worst nightmare. Layla was supposed to drop Max off that morning, but she forgot. Racing to the car park, she grasps the horror of what she has done. Max has been locked in her car for 3 hours on the hottest day of the year. It's about to come true, but she's too late. What follows is an explosive, high-profile trial that will tear the family apart. But as the case progresses, it becomes clear there's more to this incident than meets the eye. Oh, wow. What a gripping, compelling, oh my goodness. I said 5 stars, honey. This story was too much. I said, I know you effing lying. Put the heifer under the jail. Because that ending absolutely blew me away. This girl made a mistake and left her sister's baby in the car on the hottest day of the year. I don't know if I can ever forgive such a thoughtless mistake. And Yasmin even said that Layla never forgets important things. So how could she forget Max? But she lets the court verdict on whether or not her sister intentionally left Max or not to be the determining factor on whether or not she can forgive Layla. The ending twist of it all is what had me in shambles, honey. I like that it ended without us knowing the real ending to it. And Yasmin's reaction, but I loved it. I loved how it ended. And that's what made things extra juicy. I had read somewhere that it was usually based off of a CSI episode, and I watched that off of also CSI season 4, episode 4. I could see how people could feel as though it was, a little bit plagiarized or a little bit bitten off of, as I like to say. But I still like the book much better. I like the book's ending much better. It was so good, and that twist just twisted so well. Oh my goodness, 5 stars. Give it a good listen. I'm telling you, and I know what I'm talking about. Listen to the books. Okay, so Full Circle was a library book that I listened to, and immersive read, I should say. I listened to it and followed along. It was really good. 5 stars, and I had and they both loved it. So the description is: Karen Douglas is a fearless young girl thrust into the role of a stick-up kid alongside Brooklyn's most notorious thugs. She learns to fight to survive and ultimately to shine through a series of events that take her from a young girl on the verge to a designer-clad diva with a hot car, an even hotter man, and a million deadly skeletons in her closet. When Karen meets Monty, aka Money Monty, he sweeps her off her feet with one romantic gesture after another. Monty is a sexy, powerful man with the legendary Brooklyn swagger and more money than most of his peers in the streets. Their urban fairy tale soon erupts into passionate sex, bold power moves, and eventually devastating physical violence between them. When things get explosive, Karen is reminded of the love she knows Monty feels for her and the lavish lifestyle he showered her with. But will that be enough to save them? Karen and Monty's love come full circle in this epic story of love, loss, pain, and forgiveness. In Iana Ellis's second novel, she raises the bar, exposes some ugly truths, and shines a spotlight on the painful reality of domestic abuse. All that glitters isn't gold in this new novel that is sure to have readers talking for years to come. This was good. I gave it 5 stars. I said, this daggone girl. Karen will have you kicking and punching the air and wanting to throw the book across the room. Because why? Why? Why she gotta be so stupid? And why does it have to be so good to read? Why are the stories with the worst hood content so compelling? I immersive read this with two other girlfriends, and we were all gagging at it. It was so much fun. This is a coming of age story set in the 90s about Karen, a girl who is, in all honesty, isn't a fast girl like in the traditional sense because she's not like out having a bunch of sex and whatnot. But she is living hard due to her piece of crap mother and her absent father. So she's kind of like selling drugs and sticking people up and stuff like that. So Corinne does what she has to eat and stay fly. Along the way, she meets Panama and does my guy Chauncey so dirty in the process. I didn't like her for that. But she got back what she put out because her very next relationship with Monty was the pits. I don't understand these materialistic relationships where these niggas feel like they can just beat the dog crap out of a girl and cheat on her constantly, but then can apologize with a new car or a designer purse or some jewelry or whatever. I said every time the chapter changes to Monty's perspective, I wanted to throw up because F him. It was good and it was based off of a true story, which also made it more interesting. I really enjoyed Full Circle by Ayanna Ellis. It was my hood pick of the bunch. It was really good. I had gotten it from the library. Really, really enjoyed it. Yeah. So let me see. That might be it. Or let me see if oh, so the Hive was really good. I didn't physically write out my review for the Hive, but I do feel like I want to talk about it real quick and just get it out of the way. um the Hive, I read that physically with just no immersive or audio or anything like that. It was really good. It was really compelling. A page turner. I couldn't wait to get back to it. And it was about. Let me read you the description, honey, because it was definitely interesting. It says, should he live or die? You decide. Charlotte Goodwin looks directly at the camera and reveals a chilling truth to the thousands watching her Instagram live broadcast. She has killed her ex-boyfriend's new partner in cold blood, but she is not finished yet. With bloodied hands, she takes a calm sip of tea before continuing. Lincoln Jackson will now make his confession. Then the viewers must vote to decide whether he should live or die. The public display sends shockwaves rippling through the online community, and the numbers of viewers skyrockets. But as Lincoln's past is revealed, how will he be judged? Bonded by mutual tragedy, Charlotte's three best friends have supported each other through the soaring highs and devastating lows of their lives. Now in Charlotte's hour of need, her friends also face a choice, whether to help her get away with murder. The Hive explores our darkest fears of the relationship between social media and mental health, but most importantly, the strength of sisterhood against all the odds. This was really good, and it did. So the Hive in this book is kind of like, kind of put you in the same mind of like those internet gossip blogs like the Shade Room. And so in this book, Charlotte meets Lincoln, and he is a big time boxing star. And she's just an ordinary girl. So their relationship really takes off, and they have kind of like this whirlwind affair. And he knocks her off her feet. He makes all these empty promises and does all this bull crap, honey, until Charlotte falls pregnant. And once she gets pregnant, he don't want nothing else to do with her. And he just really shows his true colors. And then some things happen, and it gets really bad. And Charlotte wants Lincoln to have his comeuppance. And I was on her side about it, honestly. I totally understood her. The way that she went about it, though, oh my goodness. But it was really good. And it does delve deeply into the things that people do online, and when people go live, I actually, because of this book, went down a little rabbit hole myself, and I started watching videos of people mistakenly, unintentionally recording their last lives, you know, and people actually, having some of the worst things happen to them on live social media. Get off the daggone internet. But you have to just really be careful. Be careful, with everything. Goodness gracious. It was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. She ended up Charlotte wound up having a kind of a rough go at it for a good long way through that book. It was good. I don't want to give the whole thing away. I'm just gonna say that you should read it. I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed the relationship that she had with her girlfriends. This was kind of like a common theme through a couple of the books that I had read this last month, was that the girlfriends was on point. The girls in the Hive, Charlotte's girlfriends, they were named like Trix. I think one's name started with a K, and then there was Poppy. I forget the girl's name that started with a K, but she was like their techie girlfriend. She didn't have any kids or anything. She just kind of was in a life of crime and didn't have no qualms about it. She was cool. But they really were all there for one another, and I liked the support that they tried to give to Charlotte as she spiraled down to Crazy Town. It was a good book. So anyway, I think that's about it. I didn't talk about everything. Let me see. Coming up, I've got some. Let me see. I'll be talking about. I'll be talking about, of course, I said another Rachel Harrison, Such Sharp Teeth, and So Thirsty, that is what it was called. Gillian Flynn, Sharp Objects, that's coming up. And I downloaded, and I went to the library. That's another thing. I did go to the library last week, so I'm going to have to show you what I got coming up, because I got a lot of Sherry LaPena and some black thrillers like Brandon Massey. I'm real excited about that. So I will keep you posted, and I will see you next time. Oh my goodness, now let's see how I can get up out of this thing. Oh my goodness. Oh! No. Okay, see you.